Welcome to episode 222, and the first one that we're recording in 2026. So it's great to be here, and we're going to do a bit of a recap on 2025, talk about some things that are in store for this year, and just see how we go time-wise. So really exciting to be working on a slightly new format. We're not just going to be doing the studio episodes, but we're going to be getting out and about. We're going to go see some friends of the podcast. We're going to interview some new guests. We're going to go visit some businesses. It's going to be great. One thing that is very top of mind though is the sponsors and supporters that have been a part of this podcast journey. So now that we're in the fourth year, I really want to say thank you to Roosevelt Homes, our key sponsor currently, as well as all our past and present supporters. So big thank you to everyone that has contributed to the podcast, as well as the guests. There's been probably around 100 or so different guests that have been on the show, and an interesting top of mind stat is that there were some months late last year where we were cracking over the 300,000 views within the Meta platform, so within Facebook and Instagram. So I had no idea there was that much reach, but there you go. So thank you for watching. The name of the podcast has changed once or twice, and whether we go back to that name, I'm not sure, but for now, it's like having a bit of fun with it. I like to have interesting conversations with people that I find interesting, and it's a great way to, I guess, scratch my curiosity itch. So looking forward to another year ahead, looking forward to a couple of episodes that we've got booked in, penciled in, and just seeing where this whole thing takes us. Buddy, you got anything on your mind? Any questions?
No, stoked to be here.
Not yet.
Very happy about this new portable setup, and hoping to get out of the loft, get into Christchurch, go to all sorts of crazy places.
Yeah, totally. So we've done production at Distinct for the last year, I guess, and that's been awesome. It's been great. We still intend to do an episode or two there, but for now, one of my goals is to spice it up a bit, like just make it a bit more interactive. I saw this episode over the Christmas break with Jesse Itzler, and he was on a podcast, and it was this like really cool hybrid kind of tour of his house. He shared some knowledge, and they did a sauna together, and it just really seemed like a dynamic documentary style episode. I think with people's attention spans, I think that there is an opportunity to mix things up and just to keep things a bit more interesting, especially given the number of people that are now watching either shorts or the entire long form episodes on YouTube. So yeah, when it started 3-4 years ago, it was primarily audio. So I think things are shifting, and we just want to stay relevant, I guess. So looking forward to that new format. Another thing that is very top of mind was the recent trip to Sydney. Went over there with a small group of local entrepreneurs in Christchurch, one from Auckland. It was based on 2 different workshops as well as a lunch with a founder named Frank Grief. So that was a really cool experience. It was just great being in a much larger economy and having some good conversations, getting to know the guys in an environment that's outside of the normal day-to-day. So whether that leads into additional international trips, I'd like to think so, with a bit of talk around a Bali business retreat. Whether that happens, I'm unsure. It's a really great thing to do, but of course it does take time, energy, and the real question on my mind is it part of the core business offering, or is it a distraction? And I think being an entrepreneur, there's definitely a level of creativity, and I've just got to be careful not to get the old shiny penny or shiny object syndrome and stay focused. So leads nicely into a couple of different goals that I've got this year personally. I've managed to distill everything down to 2 main goals that I'm not going to share personally or publicly here, but we have filmed some content, so there's no escaping this. If we get to the end of the year and those goals are achieved, then we're going to talk about those publicly. And one of them has a financial penalty attached to it. So I think I will be following through. I don't think I like the idea of paying a large amount of money to a third party, so keep an eye out for that. What else is going on? Run Club, that's still happening. Ran this morning, which is really good. That's a side hustle that Ryan Thorpe and I are doing every Monday morning, 6 a.m. Lead from Elements by IHF. Good way to get out and get active, get moving. Buddy Burst, you did a bit of running last year.
I did, and I didn't go this morning, but I do really want to get back into it.
Maybe next week.
Definitely next week. I will 100% be there next week, and I'll be filming it.
It is rain or shine, so
it is. But it's the best time of year to be getting back into something like this. It's just like it couldn't be better. It's nice, easy, warm mornings. It's better to start now than to start in the winter. That's for sure.
Yeah. I heard there's a record level of rain expected tomorrow, so it's a good thing we got lucky this morning. Very good conditions. So Yeah, that's still happening. We are figuring out exactly what the events part of the business is going to look like this year. Coaching is continuing as usual with a few iterations, and then we're working on the Elevate program, which is essentially a way for business owners to, I guess, get a sense or a feel for how their team's doing, how their employees are going. Are they satisfied? Are they overworked, underworked? So we're working on a first trial client for that, which is really exciting, as well as the Loft co-working space, which we're located in right now, being officially booked out now. So we don't have to look for any more tenants. We've got all the desks spoken for. So that's been a goal for a wee while now, is to have a wait list for that. So I'd love to think that that's partly due to the content that we've been putting up. And Buddy will probably tell you that, right?
Yeah, I like to think that my ads, had some waves, made some motions there, and helped fill it up. But yeah, no, it's good to see the place full. It's really buzzing right now.
Yeah, totally. The Altitude Collective ads are running as well, which is awesome. Been seeing those on my feed, and it's been a really good exercise in getting data and metrics on ads. So just seeing what that flow looks like, going from, amount of money spent per day through to how many clicks are going to the landing page, and then how many conversions are going from that. So yeah, really cool experience. I'm looking forward to grow that product as well.
I think on that note, maybe we should talk about Altitude Collective a little more, because we made some videos about it towards the end of last year. It's really good stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's plenty of cool events that are coming up. Flock Hill, I'm very excited for.
Yeah. So we will be traveling to a location end of this month, Flock Hill Station, which is a luxurious high country getaway. We've been there before with another company, another organization, and had an experience there. It's absolutely spectacular. It's one of the highlights of last year, actually. It's absolutely beautiful, and looking forward to doing an Altitude Collective event there. So for those who are unfamiliar with the Altitude Collective, or TAC, it is a curated group of individuals. A lot of them are business owners, some of them are in employed roles, but for the most part, it is a group of like-minded, positive people that are ambitious in some way. So they value sharing quality experiences with quality people, and what I really love about that is just the magic that occurs when you get the right people in the right environment and give them space to get to know one another and to talk, to share ideas, to celebrate wins, talk about challenges. It's hugely satisfying when you can connect people, and this is just a way to do it at scale in quality environments. So that is the next larger format event. That is end of February, with the boardroom sessions continuing as usual. So those are the monthly sessions that we do at a different boardroom, whether it's this one here at the Loft, whether it's a member of the collective that we can go and visit, which is another cool way to get to know the members a bit differently. But that's a way to mix it up and just to stay interesting every month. And the purpose of those sessions is to share wins, talk about challenges. Usually there's a topic or a theme that is interlaced. So one was on financial management, another one was on AI, another one on human resources. So it just shifts based on who's in the room and what is relevant at that time. So one of my goals for this year is to continue growing the Altitude Collective, moving away from Christchurch specific members, whether we start doing events outside of Christchurch. So one thing that would be really cool is to get into different local economies. So whether that's Auckland, Sydney, further afield, I'd love to take this to a completely different level. So this is one of my key focuses for the year. If we're looking back on this episode in the future, I'd love to say that we've grown it to, hundreds, if not thousands of members, and to really satisfy that goal of mine, which is to connect ambitious, positive entrepreneurs within each other. So that's a little bit about the Altitude Collective. In other news, we are working on the content. That's another big thing. So you may have noticed that since late last year, the content quality went through the roof in terms of the short and long form, and that's thanks to you, Buddy Booth. So that's awesome. Feedback's been good, and I think the evidence is clear that content's a viable way to both increase visibility, but then also convert to sales like we've seen at the Loft. So looking forward to continuing that journey and just experimenting a bit more. The episode or the lunch that we did with Frank Grief in Sydney, that was a really interesting conversation, how they have leaned into content heavily from a personal brand perspective, from a build and public perspective, and the views and reach are probably evidence that it's working, it's viable. And so if, you know, you go and have a look at his Instagram profile or the Kenzo profile, it's insane the amount of reach and followers that they're getting. So I think we can take a little bit of that, and I think it's probably a good opportunity to encourage you to consider content-based marketing, and especially video, as a part of the tools in your toolbox. So yeah, it's a bit about content. For the next guest, I won't quite unveil who it's going to be, but it's a business that's been on before. So one of the parts of the business has been on the podcast before, so keep an eye out for that. And I guess a call to action as well, that if you are either interested in being a guest yourself, if you know someone that would be a good guest, that's potentially someone that's done something interesting, if they've been on a podcast before, what I'd really love is a way to do some out-of-town podcasts. I think that'd be really fun if we could get to the point where we're traveling to record episodes. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to the podcast this year. We've done the same thing more or less for the first chunk. So through the different iterations of, you know, recording with iPhones, and then through to, you know, the lower quality gear, and then like going to full production quality. I'm looking forward to this new hybrid. I think it's going to be really good, especially interjecting some new styles. So like shorter episodes, longer episodes. Keen to get feedback, keen to hear what you're looking for. And that's kind of all I've got to say, really. Got any queries, questions, contributions with jokes on that, buddy?
No, I guess just that it would be cool to do some episodes that are just, a little unconventional. They don't have to be a sit down talking back and forth. It could be going to someone's space, really checking it out, and just traveling around with them. You know, I think anything goes. We're trying a really lightweight setup here, so we can move it around. We can come to you, and we can just make something cool work.
Yeah, I think a couple of episodes to refer back to is the Manawa Retreat episode. We did an episode at Manawa Retreat by IHF, and that was an outdoor episode. There was a group of 4 of us on there, so it was just a dynamic chat, and it was outdoors. It was an interesting environment.
That's how I feel about the Sri Lanka episode.
Yeah, so true. So true. Yeah, great example of being in a very, very non-traditional environment as far as podcast recording goes, but having a range of people by the pool. There's monkeys, there's adverse weather, there's iguanas, there's everything. There's a lot going on. And, you know, the design builders episode as well, like that was really cool. It just comes to mind from a different format perspective. So we recorded an episode at their show home, and it was cool. It was like an unintended, kind of like an advertorial in a way, right? Like it's a way for me to express curiosity and to learn about how they work, plus being in their own environment. So yeah, new formats, new ideas, open for feedback. But I think that's probably a good session. Yeah, it's good run.
Yeah. Short, sweet.
I'm pumped. I'm looking forward to the year. Keen to hear any suggestions on either guests, format types, things that we should do. Just let us know, and we'll see you back in the next one.